Hello, everybody, and welcome to Verbling. I'm Teacher Ryan, back with you for the next hour as we have another English class together. And as you probably noticed from the description of today's class, it's one of our reading classes. And in order to do that, we find some interesting news items from around the globe, usually strange things that are happening, or something a little bit humorous or different. And then we'll go through the article. We'll read it together, taking turns, practice some pronunciation, learn some new vocabulary, and generally have a good time together. So I'm looking forward to this class and look forward to you students joining me here in the classroom. So while we wait for our students to arrive, just a couple of things to think about and remember, just to make our classes run a little more smoothly. First of all, has to do with our use of the microphone. Very important part of our class to have a microphone, be able to communicate clearly. But when we're not talking, we want to keep it on mute, just in case there's some noise in your in the room where you're studying. Maybe you have a button on your cord or a button on your earphones, or you could go up to the top of your Google Hangout with your mouse, and there you'll see the appearance of the mute microphone button. So you can just click that, and away you go. So when it's your turn to speak, just unmute, and then the class runs really smoothly. Everybody can hear well. So a couple of other things. I'm going to give you a link. Let me just get this link here to my Verbling Facebook page, and I'll put it here in our chat box. So if you go to my Facebook page, you'll be able to, if you like me on Facebook, you'll be able to send me messages. You'll be able to keep up with my latest classes, find out what we have in store for you in the coming weeks. So if you would like to go ahead and check that out, you can do that after class. I see we've got some students who are joining us, so let's say hello. The first one in the room was Franz. How are you, Franz? I'm not getting your microphone, Franz. Can you just check your connection? No sound. While you're checking that out, let's say hi to Hussein. How you doing?
Hello, Ryan. I'm doing very well. How about you?
Good. Yeah. Nice to have you here with us again today.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here as well.
Let's see if we can help out Franz. He says it's his first class. So, Franz, when you've got your microphone, is it connected to the computer? It is connected. And is the volume turned up on your microphone? So all I'm hearing is a buzzing sound for you. What if you try, does your computer have its own microphone connected right inside?
Yeah. Good.
Hey, there you go. Now I can hear you. Oh, no, now you're gone again. Wait, try this again. Put your connection in, but not all the way. Okay, now pull it out just a little bit. Now, talk. See if I can hear you. Oh, no. I heard you for like a half a second. I'm not getting it. Ah, man. I'm so sorry. Let's try a couple of other things here. Okay, you want to check into it? keep working on it because we want to have you in the class. So, Hussein,
Yes.
what have you been doing today?
I really, I didn't do not much really. I woke up. I had my breakfast. I read a book. Right now, I'm studying English.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's been a pretty quiet day for you.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That's nice. We need to relax.
Yep.
Now, you're a student, right?
Yes. You're
So
right.
what are you studying?
I study international relations.
International relations. Okay, so is that like political studies?
Yes. It's like diplomacy, and generally we study history, theories of international relations, international law, and stuff like that. But it can come down to diplomacy. Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of job would you want to get when you're done
Mm.
your schooling?
Really, we have a lot of options, really. There are a lot of exams, and if you pass it, you can work in everywhere in the government. You can have jobs. But generally, the subject to aim is to prepare students to be diplomats, and also maybe being an academic.
Okay, okay. It sounds like Franz is trying to give it another shot. Let's see if we can help him out. Now, Franz, when you plug that microphone in, it starts this humming sound in the class. So, but when you pulled it out the first time, I heard your voice. Just maybe that connection is just iffy.
His camera works very well. I think the problem is with his headphone and his microphone.
Yeah. Franz, you don't have another microphone anywhere, do you? No. And your computer doesn't have a built-in microphone? Huh. It does have one built in. So, but that one doesn't seem to be working either. What if you unplug the microphone that you're using with the headphones and then go out of the class and come back in? Maybe then your computer microphone would work. Let's give that a shot. Okay, Hussein,
Yep.
let's get started. I'm going to show you
Okay.
I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to try to show it to you without you having to do anything because there's no talking in this video. It's just an image. So here comes screen sharing. Okay. So here we go. Watch this. Oh, let me reload. Okay, there we go. You getting this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So have you seen anything about this before?
Not personally, but I have seen images like that on internet. I have seen images like that before.
Okay.
I have never been to a place like this.
Well, this is something that they just found that appeared in Siberia.
Mm-hmm.
So, being that this class is all about weird news, I thought it would be a good subject for us to talk about.
Yeah.
So, when you see something like this, What do you think some ideas that people have about what caused it?
Mhm. I really, when I first saw it, I thought that it would be a meteor abyss, meteor hole. I don't know how to say it, but a hole of meteor, maybe.
Like, oh,
Uh,
from a meteor,
meteor.
yeah, from space.
Yes, you're right. I
A
thought
me
that
a meteor hole. Okay, so we'll call that a
meteor
crater caused by a meteor.
creator. Mm.
Okay, a lot of people thought so
So,
too. That was a lot of the ideas that people had. What other ideas do you think people came up with to explain this?
I don't know. There are really strange people who can think variety of things. Maybe they can even make a movie about this. I don't know. The imagination of people are really endless. I don't know, but really, if we are realistic, I think it must be a crater caused by a meteor or an abyss. I think natural abyss maybe abyss.
Abyss. Abyss.
Yeah, abyss.
Okay, yeah, there's also something called a sinkhole that people use. Oh, I see we got somebody leaving us a message here in Google. Oh, there, that's you. Okay. We're going to use Google Chat today. Um, all right, now what would you say would be one of the wildest ideas that somebody might come up with for what caused it?
Maybe okay. I'm going to use my imagination and I'm going to create a story. If I if I create
Okay,
a story, I will say like maybe a dinosaur made it.
a
A
dinosaur.
dinosaur. Yeah.
So you mean the dinosaur was in the ground and it came out of the
Yes.
ground?
Yes. If I use
Okay.
my imagination, maybe I can say something like that.
So
And yeah,
go ahead.
or or maybe a UFO
Aha.
came to the planet and made it maybe. Yeah.
So
It's
they're down
possible,
there.
really. It's not maybe it's possible actually. Maybe an UFO or something, a thing that we don't know which came from the space could have done this maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you've hit some good ideas, Hussein. Yes. Um, UFO, dinosaurs. So you may be like thinking Godzilla, right? Godzilla came
Okay.
out of there.
If I decided to create a movie, um which depends on this subject, I would create like maybe related to a dinosaur or something or UFO. Yeah.
Or how about a dinosaur from another planet?
Oh, it would be great, really. Maybe 1 million people would watch it.
They might. They might.
Yeah,
Well, all
yeah,
right. So I was hoping we'd have a few more students to get some other crazy ideas.
yeah.
But let's see what the newspaper has to say about it. So I've got a newspaper article we can look at. I'll give you the link here. There it is. And I'll just put the same link in the Verbling box in case anybody who's watching wants to check it out with us. So what we'll do, Hussein, this is great for you. This is kind of like a private tutoring session, just you and
I
me.
think some people will join, I think, in
Yeah,
the
they
future.
might. They might. So for now, you get to do the reading, and I'll just guide you as we go through. So why don't you start with this headline? Can you read the headline for us?
Okay. A huge new crater is found in Siberia, and the theories fly.
Okay. So Well, this is kind of an interesting little phrase we might use
Mhm.
in English when we say the theories fly. What do you think that that means?
It's like after this news, people start to think about a lot of interesting things. People start to talk about a lot of interesting things.
That's
They
right.
it's like conspiracy theories,
Good. Yes,
maybe
conspiracy.
conspiracy.
That's right. They'll say all kinds of crazy things, posting on the internet, making
Yeah.
YouTube videos. So the theories fly. So here, let's read a little bit about it. Why don't we start and let's start with the first two paragraphs.
Okay.
Let me make this a bit bigger.
Okay.
There we go.
The area of Russia is said to be called, ominously enough, the end of the world, and it's where researchers are headed this week to investigate a large crater whose appearance reportedly caught scientists by surprise. The crater is estimated at 262 feet wide and is in the northern Siberian area of Yamal. The crater has been a magnet for attention and speculation since aerial footage of it was posted online last week, showing a gaping hole and what looks to be rocks and earth that exploded from within it.
Okay, nicely done, Hussein. Good reading. In paragraph one, we have a word that's a little bit, um, we don't use it all that often, but it's a good word to know, and it's pronounced ominously.
Ominous,
Ominously.
ominously.
Good. Now, have you got any idea, maybe even just from the context, of
Mhm.
what that means?
Um, mm, it seems to me like gigantic or ominously, ominously, very big, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, that's a good guess. And, based on the context, I can see how you might come up with that idea. But the word here, ominously, it's
Ominous.
referring to the name of this area of Russia. And what do they call it?
They call it Siberia, Yamal, Northern
That's
Siberia.
true, but it
Okay.
has this nickname right here. I'm going to highlight it for you. You see
At
that?
the end of the world. Okay. Mm.
So when you hear that, what does it make you think of?
Mm. It makes me afraid.
Ah, exactly. So when we hear something that makes us think bad things are going to happen,
Hmm.
that is ominous.
Oh, okay.
So it's the exact definition is something that gives you a sense of foreboding, threatening. For example, imagine if you're looking at the sky and you see black clouds coming towards you. What do you think is going to happen?
Hmm. It's going to rain.
Yeah, or maybe a really bad storm will come, right?
Yeah.
So it's something threatening is coming. You see lightning, you're starting to hear thunder. So then we could use this word as an adjective and say that those are ominous clouds.
Hmm.
Or you could say that there is an ominous storm on the horizon. So it's something that makes you uncomfortable, uneasy. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it makes sense. I got it.
All right, great.
Yeah.
So let's see now. Go on a little bit here. In the paragraph 2, it said that the crater had been a magnet for attention and speculation.
Mm.
So why would they call it a magnet?
I think a magnet is something like uh, How can I say it? It's something which collects thing itself. Like,
Good.
for example, if something is a magnet for attention, it means people pay a lot of attention to it.
Good. Very good. It attracts. A magnet
Yeah.
attracts metal. So we could say that it attracts attention. This this crater. Okay, good. All right. And what about this word here? Maybe you've used this one before. If something is gaping, what does that mean?
Mm. I think gape is like a hole, right? Is it not? Gape. A gape. I think a
Used
gaping hole.
with do with a hole, that's right. But what type of a hole would it be? A tiny one?
No, no, no. It's really, I think, big one. A gaping hole. It's very big.
Right. And it's related to the word gap.
Gap.
So if something has a gap in it, there's like a space in it.
Yeah.
So a gaping hole is something with a huge, wide open mouth. So good. All right. Any questions about that?
No. Maybe
Let's go
aerial.
on. Sorry? Aerial. Oh,
I
aerial. Okay. Aerial. So we were watching a video together about the
okay.
crater.
It comes from air, right?
That's right.
Aerial footage. They took it from the air.
You got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Nice job. So let's read the next section then, if you're ready.
Yes.
Go ahead.
A team of scientists, including experts from Russia's Center for the Study of the Arctic and the Sirosphere Institute of the Russian Academy of Science, were reportedly heading to the site today to investigate, and perhaps to debunk some of the theories about its cause. From the Siberian Times, the giant hole appeared close to a forest some 30 kilometers from Yamal's biggest gas field, Nenkovo. Experts are confident that a scientific explanation will be found for it and that it is not. As one web claim suggested, evidence of the arrival of a UFO craft to the planet. The list of possible natural explanations for the giant hole includes a meteorite strike, and a gas explosion, or possibly an eruption of underground ice.
Okay. Good work. So here we have some ideas that people have. And in paragraph 1, it said that scientists were going to go and debunk some of the
Yeah,
theories. So how would you use that word? Debunk.
debunk. I really don't know. Debunk. Hmm. Maybe to reveal.
Okay, good. That's the idea. Reveal is a good word. Um, does debunk mean to prove that the theory is true or to prove that it is false?
Um, I think it's like, I think to show some theories are wrong. To
Exactly.
debunk. Mm.
You got it. Fantastic. So when people start speaking about UFOs and Godzilla and all of these things, scientists they go and they're like, we gotta get the real answers here. We're gonna debunk all of
But,
these
but
theories.
they will make scientific researchers and then they will debunk those theories which people made up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good, Hussein. Awesome. So, was there anything else in those paragraphs that you wanted to talk about or ask about?
Okay. I know Arctic. Arctic is a ocean, right? Arctic Ocean.
Arctic. Okay, that's the area
Yeah.
of
Okay.
the north there.
Yeah. Arctic.
There
Oh,
is the Arctic Ocean, yeah, I think so. And then, but the Arctic itself is part of the land as well.
okay. Yeah. So southern Arctic and northern Arctic, saying it like that is correct?
They
No,
have
North
the
Pole
Arctic,
and
they have
South Pole.
Arctic and the Antarctic.
Okay.
So the Arctic is in the north, and then the Antarctic is in the south.
Okay. Arctic, Antarctic.
You want to see it on a map?
No, I know. I know
Okay.
it, but yeah.
Okay. Let's practice saying this word though. You know the word, but the pronunciation is a little tricky.
Yeah.
And this is pronounced meteorite. Meteorite.
Meteorite. Meteorite. Okay. Meteorite.
Okay, try to get the I sound, a long I. Meteorite.
Meteorite.
Okay, good. Like if
Meteor.
we were to do it phonetically, let me type it out here. We could go meet, e, or. You see that?
Yeah.
Try that.
Meteorite.
That's it.
Meteorite. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So just the short form of that, the item is a meteor. And then
Meteor.
a
Yeah.
meteorite is, I guess, a smaller one, a fragment.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Are you ready to go on?
Yes.
Whoops, let's finish it off with just the last couple of paragraphs here.
The crater is in an area that is one of the most geologically young places on Earth. Reported from Karst to Khazar's block, it also happens to be extremely rich in gas. In fact, it contains the largest natural gas reserve in all of Russia. In places with such large concentrations of gas, it's not unusual for underground explosions to rocket off. They occur only when undersoil ice melts and releases a substantial amount of gas. Siberian Times says the name Yamal roughly translated as the end of the world. It adds that before the crater was spotted, the Yamal area was mostly famous for its reindeer and its birds and for holding the ancient remains of several woolly mammoths.
All right, great. Nice job. So in this section, there's a few words that maybe we can talk about. First one, maybe we can look at reservoir. Have you ever seen that word before? A
Yeah.
reservoir.
Reservoir.
So let's just practice pronouncing it. Reservoir.
Reservoir.
Okay.
Reservoir.
Yeah, try to make sure you get that V sound. Voir. Reservoir.
War. Reservoir.
There you go. Getting good. So what is a reservoir?
I think reservoir is a place in which there are a lot of, for example, here it says largest natural gas reservoir. It means there's a place in which there are a lot of gas.
That's right.
Yeah.
It could be other things too. It could be water.
Yes.
So it's
In this
basically,
context.
yeah, it's a storage area. And sometimes they're natural, like in this case, or sometimes they're man-made. For example, here in the Dominican Republic, on top of every house and apartment, we have these big plastic tanks to hold our water. So those would be reservoirs. Do you have anything like that where you live?
No, in my city, no, but I know, for example, in the eastern parts of my country, they have water reservoirs, but they use it to make hot water in the summers.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting. Now, what city are you from again? Remind me.
I'm from Ankara, the capital of Turkey.
Okay, very good. So, at certain times of year, they need to heat up the water. Is that to supply it to all the people?
Yes, I'm sorry, 1 minute. Yes, that's correct. Because it's very economical in that area because it's very hot in the summer and they use it to make hot water.
Okay. And then what do they sell the hot water to the
No,
citizens, or how
they
does that
use
work?
they use them themselves.
Okay, so each person has their own.
Yes, normally for a flat in the apartments, right? There are
Yep.
there are things like that, and each flat has its own water reservoir. They're like
Okay.
it seems very funny. You see, on the top of the apartments there are a lot of water tanks.
And then is it like solar powered to
Yes, you're
heat it
right.
up?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yes, so they don't pay money to electricity or something. So
Okay.
it heats itself. It's very
Very
economical.
interesting.
And
Very good. Okay, and nice use of the word reservoir, Hussein. Good job. So then, just continuing on here, it uses the word concentrations. It says concentrations of gas. What would that mean?
concentrations of gas. In place with such large concentrations. I think it's similar to say reservoir, maybe.
Yeah, the two. It's basically when there's a lot of something gathered into a small, tight space.
Ah, okay. I understand it. It's like okay. It's like there are a lot of gas and they. Mm, I got it. I got it. So after the concentrations of gas, it is likely to explode, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but we could use that word relating it to other things. For example, we might say that in the city there are large concentrations of people
Mm,
because it's a small area compared to the whole world, but a lot of people are packed into the city, right?
yeah. So it's like intensive.
That's right. An intense
Yeah.
amount of people or a concentrated amount. That's the idea. Okay, great. And let's look at this word down here. We have substantial.
Important.
Substantial.
Important.
Important. Okay. Yep. That's good. But it has even a little bit more meaning. We can get a little more exact. If
Okay. Here.
something,
Okay.
go ahead.
For example, it says a substantial amount of gas. It's like a lot of gas, a big amount of gas.
Exactly. Good. Now, can you use it in a sentence with some other
Yeah.
item?
Yes.
How else could you
Okay.
use it?
Mm, okay. To to learn English, you need a substantial amount of materials.
Okay, good. Very good. So we could use time, we could use money.
Yeah.
Anything that's countable, we can say that we have a substantial amount of it. All right, great work. Any questions about any of the other words in these paragraphs?
Mm. On the soil, ice melts. No. Yeah. No.
All right. So now, can you summarize for me the
Yeah.
ideas in this article?
Okay. Firstly, it talks about a crater which was found near to Siberia in Russia,
Hmm.
and people talk about it a bit like which could it be, which it could what it could be, and then some scientists went to the area and they tried to discover what it is, and then yeah, it talks about a bit like, for example, it says end of the world, and it says about people's thinking, it talks about people's thought about it, and some scientists went there and they discovered it was okay. Yeah, it was because of gas concentration. The gas exploded, and then it made it, right?
Very good. That's what they think. Yeah. So I guess that part of Russia is very rich in natural gas. So these sorts of things are not completely unheard of. So it would be terrible if that happened in your backyard, though, wouldn't
Yes, most probably. I wouldn't like it if it.
it? So what can you tell me a little bit about your city in Turkey?
Okay. About gas reservations.
No, just tell me a little bit about you're talking about the hot water reservoirs and things, but tell me a little bit more about your city.
Really, in my city, there are also some resources, hot water resources, and really there are some places which are very famous. They are famous for their hot waters, and people come here to go there. They go there to cure sometimes their diseases. Like, for example, they have disease in their feet, in their legs.
Hmm.
So when they go there, they say they feel very good, and I think that some doctors as well advise it. And yeah,
So is this like a would this be like a Turkish bath? Is that what that is?
yes, we also have Turkish baths a lot. I like it as well. It's very famous, I think. People know about it.
So,
And
but this is like a natural thing, like a hot
yes, it's
spring.
not it's not Turkish bath. What the thing that I'm talking about is, okay, I don't know the name. Hot spring, thermal
Oh, okay.
spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And it's very interesting, really. It's very good, I think. It's very interesting.
So you've have you
Um,
gone to these hot springs?
yes, 2 times or 3 times I have gone there. And in Turkey, really, there are a lot of different types of these hot springs, especially in the eastern parts of Turkey. There are some places which are very famous. There are some, for example, they say there's a place in which there are some fish, and the fish are like doctors, they say. Yeah, when you go there, they help you to cure uh, you, disease relate, um, related to your leg, I think.
Okay, so like the fish will come and they'll like nibble
Yes. Yeah.
nibble the skin and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you know about it?
Well,
Maybe
I've heard of
you heard. Yeah.
some treatments like that where
Yeah.
people will do that.
Yeah.
Last week here in the Dominican Republic, near I don't know if you've ever heard of a place called Punta Cana,
No.
but it's a very famous resort area. But inside they have a natural or a like a park, and you can go through these pathways in the park, and then there are these lagoons. And that's like a natural occurring spring. So the water comes up from the ground and it makes this big lake kind of thing. And
No. Very
the water
interesting.
is super, super clear and blue and
Cool.
very cold.
It's a
So we
place to
went
visit.
there. Yeah, it was great. It was such a hot day. And so then I jumped into the lagoon and I was swimming around. But then there was this rock and I was standing on the rock
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I'm feeling something biting me. And I looked down and it's these little things called crayfish. Do you know what they are? Crayfish?
Crayfish. I don't know.
It looks like
Crayfish.
a tiny little lobster.
Uh,
Um, let me see if
ah,
I can find it.
yeah, I know.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about?
I
And
looked
so
it up in dictionary the meaning, and I know it.
okay. So these little guys were biting me on my feet and trying to get, dead skin and stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe that's kind of the same idea.
Yes, exactly. I think it's the same. I have never been to there, the place in which there are a lot of fish, as you said. It's similar. But people say they are like doctors. When you go there, they cure you. I don't know. It can be true.
Well,
I'm not
that's
sure.
yeah, who knows? It's certainly not going to hurt you, I don't think.
Yeah, I think
So
it's very fun as well. It's very
when you
fun
go
as
to
well, I
the
think.
yeah, it sounds like it would be something interesting. But when you go, do you have to pay to get in, or is it like
Yes.
a provincial or a government park?
No, you have to pay it. You have to pay for it. Maybe you can find some parts in the eastern Turkey. You can find some places, natural places, for which you don't have to pay. Yeah,
Okay.
but these places are really, how can I say? They are like companies or something.
It's all privately owned. Like they
Yeah,
bought the land and they sell tickets. Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's very good. Thanks for telling me a little more about the area that you live.
yeah.
I'll have to visit there sometime if I can.
I really want to go Latin America as
Have
well.
you? Where have you traveled?
No, I want to go there.
But
I
like,
haven't been.
have you traveled other places?
Yes, yep. I have been in France. I have lived in France for 6 months or something. I have been in Spain for a while. I don't know what was the place, but it's not like it was just one day or something. While I was in France, we went there, and
Okay.
also yeah,
So when you're in Europe, it's kind of easier to travel to a lot of different places in just a few days.
yes, in Europe. I don't know if you know that, but in Europe there's a most probably there's a visa, Schengen visa they say, and you can go all over the places without visa. If you have a, for example, visa for France, you can go Spain, you can go Germany, you can go everywhere except Great Britain. They are not in
Okay.
it.
So you can't take the tunnel and pop up
Yes,
in Great Britain.
they yeah yeah, but I think you have to have a visa of Great Britain.
Okay, I gotcha.
For example, if you have a visa for France, and when you travel France, you can go to Germany as well with that. They don't ask you another visa for Germany.
Well, that's good. That probably promotes a lot of tourism.
Yeah, European Union visa. Yeah, that's that's why they don't ask. Yeah.
Well, someday I've got to get over there and see some of those things.
Yeah. I
So,
think it's very near to your culture. You're from United States, right?
I'm
Canada?
from Canada, actually,
Canada, yeah. Canada,
but
yeah.
my ancestry is from Ireland and Wales.
Yeah, I know. Wales, yeah.
So I would like to get over to see that part of the world just to kind of
Yeah,
see the places my family came from.
yeah. It would be great, right?
But costs a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm hopeful. So
Europe
we
is
have
very expensive in a way.
yeah,
Europe
I'm
is
gonna
a bit expensive.
that's what I'm hearing. Like even just to go and buy like a bottle of water or something is pretty expensive
Yeah,
compared to other
I
places.
I agree with.
So I have another article here for us. Let me give you the link. There it is in the chat box. I'm going to put it in the Verbling chat box too for those people who are viewing. So did you ever, when you were in school, write a letter to someone, like a pen pal?
Yes, I wrote. Yeah, we not maybe exactly letter, but we write some essays.
Okay.
Mm,
And did you send them to somebody else?
Sometimes I wrote letters personally. Yeah, I wrote letters,
Okay.
but it's I think it's very old-fashioned, is it not?
Yeah. Well, a lot of young people that I know today have never ever handwritten a letter, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and mailed it off.
Yeah,
We used to
that's
do that
right.
all the time when I was growing up because there was no email.
Yeah.
I'm a dinosaur. So let me bring up this article. We're going to read about a letter that got lost in the mail for a long time. Okay, let me just make this a bit bigger. Okay, so here is our headline. So maybe you could read this first section here for us, Hussein.
Letter finally makes it to Pittsfield, 83 years late. The 1931 letter from a daughter to her mother turned up at Pittsfield post office, and the family, now in Shockhagen, wants to solve the mystery.
Okay,
Mm,
I think that's pronounced Skowegan.
Skovigan. Yeah,
I think so.
Skovigan. Yeah. It's not English, I think.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think of this headline? What do you expect we're going to find out?
I think one, yeah, a doctor sent the letter to her mother, but it didn't arrive at the time. And finally, they found it in a post office, and they're trying to make it arrive to the owner of this letter.
Okay, very good. So let's read through the article. Why don't you start by reading, whoops, let's
Okay,
go from, let's do this much right here. Whoops,
okay.
okay.
It was the 2-cent stamp that first gave it away. A letter postmarked Halton, Maine, in the summer of 1931 finally made it this past week to Pittsfield from where it originally had been sent, 83 years ago. The 9-page letter, written in ink in luxuriant cursive, was penned by then 23-year-old Miriam Mikkel, a schoolteacher, to her mother, Dolena Mikkel, who lived on Peltoma Avenue in Pittsfield. Miriam's niece and Dolena's granddaughter, Anne McMichelle, 69, said part of the irony of the mystery letter is her aunt's apology for taking so long to write to her mother, with whom she was very close.
Okay, very good. So let's just go through a couple of the words here together. Up here, it says that the letter was postmarked. You have any idea
Postmark.
what that means? Postmarked.
Postmark. Um, I know mark, but postmark. It's like to stamp it, stamp it.
Okay, we put the stamp on. So you go and you buy your stamp and you glue it or lick it and paste it onto the envelope.
I
But
think to mark it with a mark of post.
okay, so who does that?
Who does that? A person in the post office.
Exactly. So let me show you an example here. Coming right up. So you see here
Yeah.
we have the stamp, and then when it goes through the post office, it gets postmarked with
Okay.
with something like this. And now you see how the ink goes across the stamp. That would prevent somebody from taking the stamp off and then reusing it again.
Okay.
Once it has that postmark, the stamp is no longer, can't be used over again.
Mhm. Logic.
All right. Now we have this word here, luxuriant. Luxuriant. That is a nice adjective. What do you think it means?
I know luxury, and I think it comes from it. If it comes from it, I think it's like it's very expensive or something.
Okay. Yeah, you're on the right track there.
Mm,
Um, it has
okay,
to do with something that is abundant. For
abandoned.
example, if you went to the jungle, there would be lots of luxuriant plants in the jungle.
Ah, okay.
So it has to do with wealth in the sense that there's a lot of something.
Deserted, deserted,
Sorry, what word?
deserted, deserted, deserted.
Deserted would be kind of the opposite.
Ah, okay.
So when something is luxuriant, it's abundant in growth, like lots of vegetation or something that is super abundant.
Ah, got it. Ample,
Yeah.
ample, abandoned. Yeah, okay.
Now that's luxuriant, but a related word would be luxurious. Luxurious is more along the lines of what you're thinking, that it's
Expensive, right?
something expensive. Yeah, let me just put that in the chat box. You'll see the difference. There's luxurious. So, for example, maybe going to the Turkish bath. Someone is going to have a luxurious bath in a hot spring.
Yeah,
So if it costs a lot of money, they get a massage, all these things. It's kind of luxurious.
yeah.
Then we have right after that word we have cursive. Do you know what that word means?
I didn't know, but I looked it up in the
Okay.
dictionary.
What did you find?
I found, yes, right, that like a written something, and which is very old, I think.
Okay,
No, no,
good.
no, handwritten maybe.
Handwritten. It not too many people do it much anymore.
Yeah, because they
But
write it on the computer.
yeah, they type everything. That's true. How's your handwriting? Do you have nice cursive writing?
No, my cursive is very bad. People don't like it. You know. They cannot even read it sometimes.
Yeah, I have to, if I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, it can get pretty messy. My
Yeah,
cursive also. I'm just trying to see if we can get this picture. It doesn't want to get any bigger. But in old days, people at school really, really worked hard to get nice, neat handwriting.
really, in the first school, in elementary school, my teachers also forced me to write very well, but really they failed, I think.
They didn't make it. They gave up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's read
I
some more here.
but I remember I tried. I tried to write very well. I tried to write, the best maybe, but I
As
wasn't
long as as long
that
as you
good.
tried, Hussein, we can't ask for more than that. You tried your best.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and read the next section.
Miriam's niece and Dolena's granddaughter, Anne McMichael, 69, said part of the irony of the mystery letter is her aunt apologized for taking so long to write to her mother, with whom she was very close. One of the best parts for me of what she wrote was that she apologized for not writing sooner, as she knew her mother had been anxiously waiting all week for a letter, which, as we know, was never received. And McMichael said, she said, I'm just getting around to write. I imagine you have been anxiously waiting for a letter all week. I have no excuses, but that I just didn't get to it, and there are lots of things to tell you, too.
Okay. So it says that there was irony
Mm.
in this letter. Are
Yeah.
you familiar with that term? If something is
Yes,
ironic,
it's
what does it mean?
like sarcastic.
Yeah, that's kind of getting there, getting the idea. Something
I can
humorous.
explain the irony if you want.
Yeah, please do.
Here the irony is the person who wrote the letter said that he apologized for taking so long to write to her aunt, I think, but the letter didn't make it on time anyway. And yeah, this is the irony, I think,
Yeah,
right?
83 years of irony.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's go on. Let's see if you could read this section for us.
Ryan, can you explain anxiously?
Oh,
Just
sure.
for a
Yeah.
moment.
Anxiously. If somebody is anxiously awaiting, they're kind of almost nervous. They want to see it so badly.
They worried about it. They are
They
worried about
might
it.
be worried, yeah. For example, if you knew that your girlfriend was driving across the country to see you and you hadn't seen her in 6 months, you would be anxiously awaiting for her
Mm.
to arrive. You know,
Ah, okay.
maybe you're a bit nervous about seeing her again, or maybe you're a bit worried about, maybe she's taking too long.
Yeah.
So it's kind of related to that word anxious or anxiety.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead with this section here.
She said postal officials in Pittsfield found the letter in the morning mail and contacted Skowhegan postmaster Bill Sullivan, knowing that McMichaels and McMichaels had moved to Skowhegan some 40 years ago. Sullivan delivered the letter by hand to Red McMichael, a retired lawyer and district court judge, who handed it over to his sister, Anne, who lives in Cornwall. She noted that the spelling of the family surname had changed over the years. Red called me and said the postmaster came to Red's last week and he had this letter and he said, "Do you know who this is?" And said Tuesday. Red said, "Sure, it's my grandmother." So he left it with Red.
Okay, so what happened when they finally found the letter?
They, I think the person couldn't find the exact person. They delivered it to another person.
Yeah, what do you think happened to the exact person?
He died, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So then
It's a lot of
imagine how would you Sorry, go ahead.
it's a lot of years, I say. It's normal.
Yeah, you would expect that. So how would you feel if somebody came knocking on your door today and they had a package that was meant for your great grandfather? Would you be
Yeah,
excited?
yeah, most probably. I would be excited, man. I would be curious about what was going on.
Of course.
Yeah,
And who knows what interesting information you might find in
yeah,
that letter. So,
exactly.
unfortunately, our time is up for
Yeah,
today, but maybe you'll have a chance to read through the rest of that article if you want to find out um, what happens next. I have another class coming up a little bit later, Hussein, in about 6 hours, and it
okay,
is an advanced listening class, and we use some very interesting science videos to
okay,
do that. So I hope you can join us
okay.
for that
Thank you,
if you're
Ryan.
free. It was
Thank you,
great.
Ryan, for this class. Yeah, it was very useful. It was very good. Thank you.
All right, great to have you again, and have a fantastic day, and hopefully we'll
You
see you
too.
later.
Thank
All
you.
right,
See you later.
bye bye.
Bye bye.